Through community participation, bricks were bought and sand was corrected, and that structure 1x4 started. Fortunate, in 2020, we applied for CDF, and we were given 100,000. That was used for buying lift channels to mount the roof for 1x4, which was not enough. The other part of the structure was not covered with ripped channels. And later in 2021, again we applied for CDF, and we were given 100,000, and 84 iron sheets were bought. And that part which was covered by ripped channels was also covered by the iron sheets that we bought using the second 100,000 which was given through CDF. Through negotiations with the council and the government, they thought it wise to fund the project, giving them a full funding, giving it a full funding. And we appreciate and thank the government of today, the government of UPND, who came to our aid funding that project, a full funding, which is now coming to completion as we are talking today.
So for 2022, the CDFC, which is the Constituency Development Committee, approved 52 projects. And these 52 projects were uncompleted projects. So out of 52, the council has managed to complete 17 projects which are even ready to be commissioned. Then apart from that, we have 16 projects which are at 85% completion. And then 19 projects are between 40% and 70% completion. The reason why we seem to delay to complete some projects is because of the terrain of some of the areas. When we talk of Nabwara, Nabwara, because the implementation started somewhere in the rain season, so we couldn't reach some of the areas in Nabwara area.
What you're seeing behind me is one of the CDF 2022 projects. This was the completion of a 1x3 classroom block, and the scopes of works included concrete for a slab, spoon drain, painting, metalwork, and electricals.
This classroom block, I would say it has come at the right time, because it has actually helped us now to decongest the primary school, and our learners, though they come in 2 sessions, at least we are able to utilize for the 6 classes. We have 3 grade 8 classes, and then we have 1 grade 9 class, then 1 grade 10, 1 grade 11, and 1 grade 12. So from grade 9 up to grade 12, they come in the morning. But our grade 10 class is still learning at a primary, because even if this structure has been completed, infrastructure is inadequate at this institution.
Bana kairanga mwasenda ku chipatala imbi bala afuira munshira na namayo fira fine na chifyashi arapapira munshira sono mbapa cho tuletotera kubute ku pamulando akutirati na tukwata kliniki.
If you've looked in the district, it has brought a lot of changes, a big development, because if you look at the place, for instance, Nachikufu Ward, we did not have enough for projects, because the 1.6 was just not enough, was little. By this increase, we've managed to complete even unfinished projects like Luchenene, which we were just from visiting, Luchenene Health Post. So it has done a lot of help to the community.
Where we are right now is the Chintu Crossing Point. This project was funded under CDF 2022. The scopes of works involved were painting, concrete works, and stone pitching of the approach embankments.
Pale Shupapa Bridge apanga mainsa, especially mainsa. Kwa leba mwasanga ni pale machine mfule mwawele atakuti kwavuka.
We also managed to sponsor pupils for boarding secondary schools. About 123, and we spent 311,200 kwacha. That is for boarding secondary school bursaries. Then for skills development, we managed to sponsor 191 students at a total cost of 1,116,966 kwacha.
The possibility of me dropping out of school was very high before the CDF could start paying boarding fees for me. As at now, I'm really thankful to the government through the CDF now that they are sponsoring me in paying my boarding fees, and now that the possibility of now dropping out of school is now very low. Also, it has lifted the burden of my parents now to pay for my boarding fees. Now they can cater for other expenses such as basic needs at home and other expenses that are needed to be catered at home.
My parents used to face a lot of challenges when it comes to paying them. You find that maybe they'll just give me half of the money as they remain fending off for the other amount to pay for it. And that was a huge disadvantage, because looking at the fact that I'm not the only child. They also need to pay for my siblings. They also need to cater for the basic needs of our home. So after the government started paying for me, at least there was an extra amount of money that was used to help my siblings go to school as well, and also help me to have that assurance. Even as I'm in school, I won't worry to say, I wonder how my parents have remained since me coming here. I more of looked like a burden on my parents, but since the government started paying for me, I have lessened that burden. I'm assured to say they are eating okay. I'm assured to say my siblings are going to school.
Before the inception of CDF, we had numerous problems, especially being a boarding school. Number one, we had a challenge to collect fees from the parents and also pupils at the same time, in that most of them, their parents are peasant farmers. We had a challenge to collect fees. At times, you have to go class by class to go through. At times in a class, out of maybe 60 children, maybe only half the number have paid. And where they fail to pay such monies, being a boarding school, to procure food for the same children was a challenge. Thank God in heaven, through CDF introduced by our own able, wonderful parents concerned about our children's well-being, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, there is a swift change. There's a big change in that way. One, payment for CDF is now prompt. And even the children who are fearing to come to school now can come in big numbers on their own.
It wasn't really a good start when I started my secondary education because my parents were really having challenges and difficulties. But as when CDF came into the part, it really helped me and my family in a very good way that I'm able to continue with my school and advance more. I would really love to thank CDF.
The approach that the council has taken now is that if they are building a 1x3 classroom block, they will fund this block from the start up to completion. And what you see now is that the projects are being completed within a short space of time. Secondly, the vulnerable children that could not afford school fees, I think they are now benefiting through the bursaries that they are getting from CDF. So we have a lot of children from vulnerable communities who are now accessing quality education because of the initiative that we are getting from the councils. So for us, this is a milestone. And a lot of children, I would be telling you that a lot of children have come back in schools. Even in schools where we thought desks were enough, this time around, they are crying for desks.
Ndeto twetotela wa government pakutuletela ko CDF ile twafuilisha kule twafuilisha kona ma skills ukuishiba kubomba imirimo shisuma azeni carpentry ile twafuilisha ko ukupanga ifo twingapanga in future.
We are not managing to pay our fees like skills or something else, but after CDF came, I've managed to be here learning how to make clothes, like tailoring. So we thank God for CDF because without CDF, maybe ngatatua kwanisho kwa tuweko kuno.
Some of us, we are single orphans. There are some of the people who are unable to pay school fees such that they can't even afford to be here as in these institutions. But because of the well-being of the government, it has really helped us to be here. So that is a very good thing that we have seen from the CDF.
CDF as an individual, it's really helping because my parents couldn't afford money that I should come to school, but since CDF came in, I was able to apply and accepted, then I've been to school. If not for CDF, I would have been maybe at home, or I would have even gone into marriage.
From the time that we started receiving students being sponsored by CDF, we have seen an increase in the number of students applying to come to the college. Actually, the numbers are overwhelming. What is limiting is just the college capacity. We can't accommodate everyone that is applying. Then the other benefit has been that CDF has really helped the college in its implementation of the training activities, because as we do our budgets, we budget with certainty, knowing that definitely these monies will come from the respective councils that are sponsoring their students.
We empowered 50 clubs and cooperatives. And I'm sure you went around, to different wards and see what these clubs are doing. Actually, most of them are doing very well, and actually they're appreciating this support from government.
CDF has really helped to improve our lives. We applied for a grant of 40,000, which we injected into buying of the equipment for the bakery. We bought a mixer as well as the single deck oven, which we are using apparently. And we have also managed to employ 4 employees. 2 weeks in the day and the other 2 weeks during the night. We are 15 in our cooperative.
We were having some women who were widows in our group, and they had some needs. And also in the church, we were having sometimes people would come to us for assistance. We would do some contributions from people, but we saw that it was not getting much to help. Sometimes people wouldn't have. So we thought if we had a project and we identified chicken rearing, it would help us to raise some funds and be attending to some of the needs that were coming through to us to assist. So we heard of the CDF funds, so we wrote an application. We got an application from there, and then we followed the process that the council guided us to do, and that was in 2022 February last year. And in December, the project was funded. So from 18th December, we started the project of chicken rearing. We started with 100 chicken, and we have been improving. We reached actually up to 300 chickens.
So we are saying as Mpika, we are very happy. As district administration, we are very delighted that, and the people, of course, when you interview 1 or 2, they are happy that CDF has brought a lot of positive things, which will go a long way. As you know, that building up human capital doesn't come at it doesn't just come like that. It comes at a cost. But the government has taken over some of the responsibilities, because we know that most of our people are not able to meet some necessities of life. So the government has taken over. Our parents now, at least they are relieved. The money that they used to spend on, trying to meet the cost of, boarding fees, the cost of, paying for the tertiary institutions under TVETA, government has taken that role. So meaning that our people now are able to make savings, and when they make savings, they are now able to use, to buy a few things that will sustain their lives. So this, as district administration, like I mentioned earlier, we're very happy because it is assisting our people to meet the needs, the necessity needs in life.
The council is also implementing its own projects through the local government equalization fund. So as you saw outside there, actually we have built a canteen which is helping us, to broaden the revenue base. And actually we have a lot of clients who are coming through to access our service, and a lot of people are appreciating the facility that we have constructed. So under 2023, we have 19 projects, 19 community projects. One of which is the procurement of desks. As you have heard, the president actually has directed that he doesn't want any child to sit on the floor. So because of that, as Mpika district, we are committed to ensure that this presidential directive is implemented. So we sat down with the DEB's office, and so that we could get the actual number of desks that we need as a district. And we got the number which is 7,972. So now when we looked at this number against the allocation for community projects, we realized that if we had to buy 7,972 desks, the whole allocation will go towards the procurement of school desks. So therefore, we decided to write to the ministry to seek authority if at all we can procure these desks in phases. Lucky enough, we received a positive response to say, yeah, we can procure the desks as per our request. Then thereafter, they suggested that maybe we can start with 3,500 this year